Hey everyone, welcome to Coyote Bushcraft. Today I want to take you all through the process of creating a ocarina from scratch using only simple hand tools. And so an ocarina, in case you don't know, is just a very simple woodwind style instrument. And the one I'm going to be trying to create today, I'm going to be using a piece of black walnut wood. And I'm just going to be trying to attempt to create a pretty simple ocarina. And it's going to be quite small, about the size of, I don't know, it's going to be very handheld, can fit in pocket very easily. So yeah, I'm super stoked about this project. I think it should be pretty fun, and hopefully by the end of it I'll have another woodwind to add to my collection. So let's go ahead, go over the tools I'm going to be using for the day, and then we'll hop right into creating the ocarina. Okay, so here's all the tools I'm going to be using to create my ocarina. So over here we got a hammer, and the hammer's to use with my chisels. Then I have a wood rasp, I have a machete, a saw, a knife, a crook knife, some oil to preserve it in the end. I have a hand crank drill to drill in my holes. I have a set of miniature wood files, and then I have a bag with some sandpaper in it, some electrical tape, and some wood glue. So that's everything I should need to create my ocarina. Okay, so here's my black walnut wood, and I have my template of my ocarina already drawn onto it. So you can see I have two different templates carved on here. This one is going to be the top of my ocarina, the top half of my ocarina, and this one is going to be the bottom half of my ocarina. And so on my bottom half of my ocarina, that's the half where I will be working on my air channel and creating my sound hole. And the air channel is this long channel right here, and then the sound hole is this little square right here. So where that square is where that air will actually be split and the vibration will be created that's going to create the sound that's vital to an effective ocarina. So yeah, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my saw and I'm going to saw this in half, and then I'm going to start hollowing out both of the sides of my ocarina. Okay, now I'm just going to start shaping out the outside of the ocarina. Alright, so I got my bottom half of my ocarina pretty well carved out on the inside and outside. Unfortunately, at one point when I was carving off camera, I did cut my finger pretty good, and I just wrapped it up. But it happens. No matter how experienced you are with carving, you're still susceptible to cutting yourself. And sure enough, I had a little voice in my head telling me this doesn't feel safe, you know, this is a weird position, and that next stroke I cut myself. So listen to that inner voice whenever carving. But yeah, that being said, I'm happy with this bottom part, and now I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to move on and start to carve out my top piece of my ocarina. Alright, so I got both my pieces carved out, and now I want to make sure that both of my pieces can fit together very flush. So it's pretty close right now, but what I'm going to do just to make it perfect is I'm going to just rub each half on this piece of 60 grit sandpaper just to make sure it's completely flat. Okay, so now they both fit together really well, and so I'm going to move on to the next part, and that's my air channel. So I'm going to use these wood files right here, and I'm just going to slowly shave this whole thing down about 1/16 of an inch. And then I'm going to take a gouge, and I'm going to start to gouge through my ocarina right around here. And I'm slowly going to work my way up to where this little square is, and then I want to just barely break through the wood right where that square is. Then I'll use the file to shave that down and open up that hole just a little bit. And then I'm going to shave it to where this edge right here has a nice angle on it and is somewhat sharp. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to shave on this side of that opening a little bit lower. So this side will be lower than this side. And the air will come through the chamber, hit this sharp edge right here, split. Some will go out the back of the ocarina, some will come into the chamber, and it will vibrate and make our sound. Okay, so I got my channel filed down, about exactly 1/16 of an inch if I had to guess. I remarked where I'm going to be coming out for my sound hole, and so now I'm just going to begin on that. And I put a little dot here, this is where I'm going to begin. You can see it's a little further back on the ocarina than the sound hole is up here. It's because I want to come in at an angle so that I can create an edge on the back part of the hole. And if you're confused, it'll make more sense once you see it start to come to life. Alright, you can see the hole that I just gouged out. Now I'm just going to take my little miniature wood file and just kind of open it all up. Okay, so I got my air chamber and my sound hole pretty much done here. Hopefully you can see how this side is a little bit shallower than this side. This side's a little deeper. So on this side I went about probably 2/16 of an inch deep. And then on this side of the sound hole it's probably about 1/16 of an inch deep. So the air comes through right here and then it hits that back part of the sound hole. And that sound hole has been filed down to where that's almost slightly sharp almost. So that air comes through, hits that sharp area, it gets split, some of the air goes down through there, and then some of it comes into the chamber, and we have our sound. So yeah, that's what it looks like from the back. You see I just chiseled my way through there, and then I just used this file to really get that ramp defined and detailed. And yeah, that's the hardest part of the ocarina. From here on, it's all the fun stuff. Okay, so now I'm just going to go ahead and use some standard wood glue and some electrical tape and put the two halves together. Whoop. Okay, so I got the ocarina all taped up, sealed off with the wood glue, and now it's the moment of truth. I'm going to see if I actually get a note out of my ocarina. This will be like my bass note, and yeah, I'm really nervous. You know, this is the moment of truth right here. Makes sound, and it actually sounds pretty good. So I'm pretty stoked, and yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna let that glue dry overnight, and then I'm gonna come back out tomorrow morning and I'll finish up the ocarina. Alright, so it's the next day, and I let my ocarina wood glue dry overnight, and I went ahead, I took the tape off and stuff this morning. It's holding together really well. Still makes a clear sound, nothing warped or anything overnight. And so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead now, and it's pretty well shaped out, but I want to go ahead with my knife and just do the refining touches to the outer shape of the ocarina. Okay, so now that I got my ocarina all shaped out, I'm going to go ahead and drill in the holes of my ocarina. And so the way I determined where to put my holes is I just held the ocarina in my hand, marked where my fingers were, and did what felt good. Yeah, I just decided, given the size of this ocarina, that I would just do 4 holes on top and 1 hole on the bottom. The bigger your ocarina, you can put more holes in it and stuff, and I could probably put more in this if I wanted to, but I'm just going to keep it relatively simple. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and drill these out. Alright, so it's making sound and it's playing. I'm just going to tune it all up by just using this little wood file here and slowly working open these holes and getting it the way I really want it to sound. Okay, so I got my ocarina all tuned up, and now I'm just going to move on to the sanding phase. Alright, so I got the ocarina all sanded down, and now I'm just going to do my favorite part and add the oil to it. Alright, so there you have it, folks. making an ocarina from scratch using only simple hand tools. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, take it easy, everyone.